I don't know what's coming next. And I don't know if a lot of you people have ever been through a stage where you have a decision to make and an adjustment that you make, and you just don't know what's coming next. I'm dealing with some form of idleness at this stage. I got time to ponder and think. It's almost some form of incarceration. I'm sure people that are actually incarcerated would say it ain't nothing like incarceration, but it's some form of having a idle mind, which they say is the devil's workshop. But I don't feel that way. I feel like I'm being powered up with God power and transforming. I made an executive decision, and I stand by my word. So if I say something like, "Hey, I'm gonna come pick you up and take you to the grocery store," I'm planning on coming to pick you up and take you to the grocery store. And if for some strange reason I run into a roadblock, if not via death or some form of accident where I can't reach the phone or whatnot, I will give you a call and say, "Hey, I'm not able to make it at this point. I will give you an update because I'm a man of my word." So now, as an integrity monster and as a high character, high charisma, spiritual man, I'm forced, which is a great thing, to ponder what's next. So I got a little bit of an idle mind. But in order to go from one plateau or one level to the next, it takes some form of preparation. And I'm in the middle of that stage. I'm in it. Like no man's land type of floating out in the stars, out in space or in galaxies, in another galaxy somewhere on another planet, Mars or Jupiter, Venus. But things are rather simple in this realm. Stay spiritual, stay motivated, and obtain the two things that are necessary for a transition. One is career building, and two is residency. So, an apartment owning, or an apartment renting person is homeless. So, this whole paycheck to paycheck concept for people is devastating for them. And I have, I'm brave and I'm very courageous and I got I got more courage than the average woodpecker. I tell you that. And this is a humbling process, but I've always been humble, even though I do have shards or you know glass breaking with me flossing or feeling flamboyant. And a lot of that is a mystique used to stay motivated to be successful, to be a servant of God, to help everybody else. I used to think being arrogant and pompous was a bad thing. Now I realize it's necessary to keep like a mattress being an air mattress, to keep the air inside of it, you got to keep pumping it yourself because nobody's going to give you the energy to do such a thing. Everybody else is caught up in their own maze, and I don't know all of the depth of this red pill, blue pill, reality, or what's fake. But I got an idle mind, so to speak. And the thing is, I'm not really deeply able to work on any of the stuff that's part of my craft that much. I can a little bit, but it's a concentration on the two steps that's necessary. You know, the super career and also home ownership. But I want to have the same face, the same poker face that you would wear successful as when you are labeled or feel unsuccessful. I want to wear the same poker face. I want to show the excitement level, to show that God is in control and it never was. You know, even though I feel fear, which I think is the greatest demon on earth, actually is fear to me, because fear triggers racism. Fear triggers a person undercutting their talents and gifts. Fear causes a man or a woman to not want to pull the trigger when it comes to something that might be a greater life or a light in their life. Fear. I really don't have a whole lot of it. That's why I'm running into the fire and stuff. Gasoline, under gear on my body. But I understand it, so I got an idle mind right now. So if you've ever been in a space where it appears or sometimes it feels like you don't have a value at this point, but you do, feels like you don't, like you're in an idle space. You know, I want you to think about me and think about yourself and think about what you're supposed to do when you have an idle mind. And that's so that it doesn't turn into the devil's workshop. You plug yourself with being a servant of God. You do good tasks. So if you are an apartment having person, you clean up. You know, you also be a servant, help other people. Have your plan and work your plan. Recite it to yourself out loud and in private. Write it down. Don't chase money. Only thing I would say to you on a daily basis, just live with the mindset of trying to be helpful to others. Wear a smile on your face, but make it be real and authentic. Don't be vindictive and cast stones or cast people out. Just keep it 100 and with yourself. Respect your family. If you got any bonds or things like that that have been broken, remend them. Remend things with your family. Call up somebody and say, hey, look, I apologize, or I want to make amends. I want us to, because nobody's guaranteed to live forever. I got loved ones now that are young who are dealing with a person's exit off of earth, and they can't believe it. It's surprising to them. And I don't want to say it in a negative way, but welcome to the world. This is what it looks like, where disappointment after disappointment after disappointment becomes a norm. And I say it even to at this age that I'm at, it never gets any better to know that a loved one or somebody you're familiar with has exited. It sort of feels like they left you, like they just decided to take off and go to another city and never come back. That's what it feels like sometimes. But those start to add up as you get older. One person, 10 people, 15. And, so as you get older, you start to see more and more things. I do have a young man who is right now this is my last story. making a super effort to be successful, not only in life in terms of academically, but on the basketball court. And some of the people, the powers that be, don't believe in them. They don't. They're hoping and wishing for a baby God to return from the ashes and save them. And no trust and no belief in this young warrior. I had a conversation with him yesterday, and